Hello, and welcome to another episode of Time to Conquer. I am your host, Mia Paul, and I am always so grateful when you decide to take a couple moments out of your busy life to spend some time with me as we go through the common issues people have when they start their journey of transformation, decide to raise their expectations and the standards of behavior they accept, and take control of their lives so they can start to live a life that they love. Over the last couple weeks, we have really done a deep dive into why it is important and why it is vital for you as my listener to be in a place of taking control, letting go of the baggage and the tough times of your past, and moving forward in a way that you feel confident and comfortable in the life that you're living. The past couple of weeks, we have really done a deep dive into tuning out the noise. We talked about why now is your time to begin your transformation and your evolution into the new and improved you. Last week specifically, we talked about the difference of criticism and judgment and needing support and whose opinions you're going to listen to. These last couple episodes, we've really done an external look at the people in our lives, the opinions we allow into our brain and into our heart, and also really thought about why we want to be on this journey of transformation. Sometimes that's the easy part. And if you've listened to the other episodes and you've struggled with figuring out whose opinions you are listening to, you might be sitting there and thinking, it has not been easy, Mia. But the truth is, it's usually easier to look outward. It's easier to have higher expectations for the people around us. It's easier to know that the standards we're setting for others, we have a gauge if they're going to hit them or not. The hard truth, the hard part is sometimes it's easier for us to do that outwards because we are avoiding doing it inwards. We're avoiding taking a moment of self-reflection and asking ourselves, are we doing the work of being the type of person we would want around us? Are we somebody who is willing to put in our own work regardless of the support of others or the opinions that are shared with us? It's a fact that you could have the most supportive, the best circle around you, full of people wanting to grow and wanting to help you and willing to push you to the next level. But if you aren't willing to do the work yourself, if you're not willing to have that transformation come from you, that circle won't be able to help you. No matter how supportive or how much criticism you get from the people around you, in the end, the only person looking back in the mirror is you. And sometimes we need a push to take on some self-responsibility ourselves. So our episode today is going to be about just that. We're going to talk about the ways we know when we are on the right path. We are going to reflect inwards so that way we can be confident in the person that is staring back at us in the mirror. When you see somebody that you admire, when you have a mentor or an idol that has really pushed you to become better, sometimes it's easy to say, I can't do that because I don't have XYZ. I can't live that life because my spouse isn't supportive. I can't go on those trips because my family doesn't have money and I didn't learn how to save and invest, and I don't have financial freedom. But the truth is, you are capable of any decision, any change you want to make in your life. When you look at an athlete that's reached the highest peak of their career, or a person brave enough to put on a swimsuit and be a bikini or physique model on stage, even just somebody at the gym or on social media that has the body you dream of or the life and family that you crave to have one day. It's easy to say, I can't achieve that because I don't have the motivation, or I wish I had the motivation to be able to get up and do that every day. The truth that you need to hear right now today is it has nothing to do with motivation. Not one single thing. Instead, you need to work on your discipline. Your discipline is what is going to move you from where you are now to where you want to go and where you deserve to be in the future. It's not easy, life. It is not easy for anybody. Every person that you see, that you follow, that you talk to, that you admire has had some stuff go on in their life. They have had some reason thrown at them, some curveball that came their way that could have been used as an excuse for why they didn't need to progress to the next level. The difference between successful people and not successful people is not external. It is all internal. Self-discipline is one of the hardest things to master because it takes the most consistent work on a daily basis, and it's not always sexy. You don't see the day-to-day grind when you look at somebody who's reached a peak of their career. When somebody gets a promotion or starts their own business or gets asked to speak on a stage at a conference of thousands of people, that just doesn't happen magically. That's not something that can just happen without the work being put in behind it. And today, as we do our self-exploration, as we look inside to see what steps we can take on a daily basis to make sure we are a person worthy of the life we are going to live in the future. They're small steps. It can seem so overwhelming, but all we need to do to start is to start. Half of the time, the doubts and the obstacles and the roadblocks that we come up with in our head, it's just that. They're in our head. It's the small little details in your day-to-day life that will eventually add up to make you the person worthy of the life you want to live. So we need to talk at least about 3 things that we can do right now today to make sure that we are moving in the right direction, taking some self-responsibility, and proving through our actions to those around us that we are true to our word and we will stay on this path of transformation and evolution even when it's hard. I was asked the other day, how do you do it all? I am a wife. I am a mother of 2 children. I own a business with my husband. I own my own business. I have my podcast. I am a friend. I am a community member. I have a lot on my plate. And I don't get it all done by waking up and magically just deciding, today we'll see what gets done. I would not get anything done that way. Instead, it is all very planned out. And it is my day, my hours, my minutes are spent so intentionally that I don't have to spend any energy wondering what's going to come next. I already know what's going to come the next moment, the next hour, the next day. When we talk about successful days for ourselves when it comes to transformation and growth, the day actually starts the night before. And you may have heard this. You may have, if you're in your journey of self-development and self-progress, you might know. It is important to plan your day, to look at your calendar, to see what's coming the next day before you even go to sleep. And that is my first tip, my first trick that I'm going to share with you today. I don't wake up in the morning. and then decide how my day is going to go. I spend some time every single night planning out my day, the next day. Now, your plan may be different than mine. Maybe you have a general plan. Maybe you have one goal you know is the one thing you need to do. I found that doesn't work for me very well. I need a specific plan. I have 2 small children. I have a 7-year-old and a 2-year-old. Do you think I'm really in control of every minute of my day? No. There needs to be some flexibility. Absolutely. However, when those moments come up that I wasn't able to plan on or plan around, I am able to roll with the punches and adjust to those times because I have such a clear plan for all of the rest of my day. Every night I sit down and I use my phone or a notebook or an app on and I plan out every single hour of my day. Some of those hours are flex hours. They're an hour that I know if my daughter doesn't necessarily go to sleep right at 1 o'clock, and it might take a little bit longer, I'm not going to plan something. I'm not going to plan a call that I need to be on at that time. Exactly. But in that hour, I can plan something that takes a little bit more flexibility from me. It can be my lunch hour or the hour I spend catching up on emails, because in the end, if I don't get to all of my emails, I'll be okay. I can work on them the next day. But if I didn't get to a podcast recording, or if I didn't get to a scheduled one-on-one call with one of my life coach clients, I can't push that till later. I have already said I'm going to show up for those things. So those are my commitments. And I plan those into times that I know I will not allow anything to break that commitment. So your successful day, it starts the night before. And that gives you the flexibility and the freedom to know that when you wake up, you already know what's happening. Your clothes for your workout are laid out. All you have to do is put them on. You know that you're going to drive to the gym, or in my case, walk down to my living room and push play on my workout. I don't have to put any thought into it. It just automatically happens. And that consistency day to day makes the habit. And slowly that snowball grows and it becomes something I don't have to think about. So when I'm planning my day the next day, there's really only a few time slots I have that change, because I know in the morning I do this, and then in the night I have an hour to plan. That never changes. It doesn't matter if I'm on vacation. It doesn't matter if I'm sick. It doesn't matter if some other external emergency came up and it ruined my whole plan for that day. I know I'm going to start my day before anybody can talk to me and get one of my top 3 priorities done. And I know no matter how late it takes, no matter what's been thrown at me that day, I'm going to spend at least a half hour, preferably an hour, planning my day, the next day at nighttime. So that is my first tip. The second thing we need to talk about is actually executing that plan. You can have the best plan. You can use the best planners. I don't know about you, but I used to be a planner addict. My husband would laugh every time I said I bought a new planner, because he knew I'd use it for like 1 week and then it would sit on my bookshelf and never to be opened again. Because in my head, I thought as long as I had the plan, I would be successful. The plan isn't what you need. It helps, absolutely. It helps your brain. It helps your mind. It helps your soul feel prepared. But the execution of that plan, the action you take every single day, that is going to help you get closer to your goals of success, of freedom, and of self-improvement. Self-discipline is hard. It is one of the hardest things I have needed to change in my life. I, unfortunately, did not have much discipline before my own personal journey of transformation. My husband has he's a Marine. If that tells you anything, everything you need to know. He is one of the most self-disciplined people I've ever met. And I feel like one of the reasons we mesh so well is because we both know our strengths and our weaknesses are brought to the table to help improve the other. He has shown me through his calm demeanor, his ability to roll with the punches no matter what it is, and how efficient he is getting all of the stuff he needs to get done throughout the day, that the execution, the action is what the difference between somebody who has goals and somebody who hits their goals. Now, when we talk about discipline, when we talk about support, some of those topics kind of go hand in hand, because if you're not somebody who's disciplined on a daily basis, you'll find yourself at times of procrastination needing to really 10 times the effort that you need to put in to hit your goal. So if that is something that you struggle with, you might also see that the circle around you, especially your immediate family living in your home, struggles with supporting you towards your goals. Because if you wake up on the first of the month and you say, this is my month, I am changing my life, I am going to work out through 30 days this month, I am going to hit this business goal, I'm doing it, I need your support. And your significant other, your family members, your loved ones say, okay, you have our support, let's go. And then for 3 full weeks, they see you sitting on the couch, going out for coffee with your friends, putting off your workouts, and then it's too late. You're not going to do it today. You're going to do it tomorrow. And then in that 4th week, you're like, oh no, I set this goal. I need to hit it. I need to be locked into my office for 10 hours a day. I can't cook dinner. I'm not going to do anything for our children. I need you to do it all, and I need you to support me. How hard would that be if you were in their shoes to do that? Wait a minute. You said all those other weeks that this goal was important to you, that this is what you were going to do, but when push came to shove, coffee with your friends was more important. I'm not saying don't get coffee with your friends. I'm saying schedule that coffee with your friends, and it's not something every single day. See, if the flip side of this example, if you were putting in that time every day and a consistent basis, maybe it's not every day, maybe it's a couple times a week on a consistent basis where it is scheduled, where yes, you wanted to go and do that fun thing, but this goal is important, so you're staying and working. And yes, it would be easy to push snooze on your alarm clock and you want to sleep that extra glorious hour, but you said you were going to wake up at this time and get your workout done. If you're doing that, and then you need to do a little bit more of a push at the end of the month, or a little bit more of a push before your vacation so you feel good in your bikini, or whatever the goal is, your friends, your family, your loved ones will see that you have been consistently putting in that effort, and they will be willing to help you for that short burst of time because you've already put in the work. You've already done it. Here you are, showing up every single day. So you need a little extra help. They are there to give it to you. It's important to remember that the things you do every single day, those small, unsexy, and sometimes what seems like not important habits, are the things that will dictate who you are in a month from now, in 3 months from now, in 6 months from now, in a year from now. You won't get there if you can't put in the work, if you can't grind it out now. So depending on what your goal is, you are the only person who can decide what are those little things that I need to do to get there. But once you figure those out, once you make the commitment that that goal is, and the work that comes with it is something you're willing to commit to every day, that is something that you think the work will be worth, you need to remember that too. It takes work to do new things. It takes constant and conscious effort to remember those things, because motivation is fleeting. No one is motivated all the time. The best public speaker, the best motivational icon that you know is not motivated every single day. However, they do the work to become that person every single day. Our final little tip as we get into this self-reflection and examining who's around us and how they value us, how they value our goals, how they support us on our journey to those goals, comes in one of the best pieces of advice I've ever got. I am a self-proclaimed people pleaser. I love to make the people around me happy. I also really love to spend time with them. Maybe not now, coronavirus makes things a little bit harder, but in usual life, if somebody has a birthday party, I want to be there. If somebody has an emergency, I want to be a friend they know that they can call. However, it took some time and this piece of advice for me to realize that sometimes doing that was taking me further away from my personal goals. And sometimes the people I was doing that for didn't care that they were taking me away from my personal goals. I had to learn what the difference between an emergency, a real emergency, was versus somebody else's poor planning. And a lot of the times, if you find yourself a people pleaser, a person who is always willing to put their stuff on the back burner to help one of our loved ones because they need us so bad. Think about some of those times in your life recently that you've done that, and maybe you'll see that what somebody came to you as an emergency was really just their poor planning. And they don't talk to you all of the other times when things are going great in their life. They didn't check in on you. They didn't ask you how you were doing. But when they needed you, they expected you to drop everything you were doing and be there like that. That's not friendship. And that's not fair. That's also something you can't accept if you are dedicated to whatever that goal we just talked about what is. A friendship realizes a true friendship is a give and a take. Friends show up for each other in emergencies. Absolutely. I'm not saying that. If somebody's having a moment where they need you, maybe that day you need to put your stuff on hold to be there for them. They walk in on their husband cheating on them and they're a wreck and they can't drive and they're crying so hard on the phone they can't even breathe. Yeah, it's probably an emergency that you need to be there. You need to reevaluate how your day is going and make some adjustments. But if that same friend is asking you on a consistent basis to watch their kids because they know you work from home, and in their mind that means you're always available, so they don't pre-plan their sitters, they don't have a backup plan for time work calls them in, or they need to go do XYZ, that might seem like an emergency to them, and they may come to you with the urgency of an emergency. But is it really? Or is it just their poor planning? And sometimes that's a hard pill to swallow, especially if you really want to be there for your friends and your loved ones and your closest circle. But the truth is, once I realized that difference and I started making those boundaries, the people who were taking advantage of me fell away. When I started saying no, they stopped asking, which I guess was the goal, but then they also stopped talking to me. They stopped being my friend, because if I couldn't give them the whole world and all of my time and my attention at the drop of a hat, they weren't interested in me anymore. If I couldn't watch their kids every other day, was what it seemed like, then they didn't want to be my friend. So were they really my friend? I don't know. I don't think so. Because what happened was when I started to make those boundaries, and my true friends, this circle of success, of support that I had surrounded myself with, they started to know that I was always somebody that they could come to in an emergency. But they were still there for me in times where I wasn't able to be there for them. If it took me a little bit longer to answer a text message, they didn't take it personally because they knew I was grinding towards my goals. That friendship, that love that they gave me was not conditional on if I was always available to them or not. And on my side of it, I was really able to give those people priority when emergencies came up, or when there was a birthday party or a bridal shower or XYZ, a play date we just wanted to have, and I needed to take a break from my busy schedule to put them in it. I was able to do that because I knew that they were understanding of my goals as well. They were supportive of me, whether or not I was able to drop my hat for them in a moment. And that's really how we're going to end this episode today, because it is personal, those boundaries. But it is also something that takes some discipline, and it takes some time to build up the strength to feel confident in setting those boundaries. But the more you do it, the more confident you'll become, the easier it will be to set those expectations for others in your life. And the easier it will be to look at yourself in the mirror and know you're also hitting those expectations for yourself. In the end, you can be the best friend. You can be the most available loved one. If that's your priority, if that's where you choose to put your time. But I am here to make sure that you're putting your time to people who deserve it, to people who are also there on the two-way street for you when you need it. I'm sure we've all had friends and family members who come to us in emergencies full of anxiety and stress. And you're there for them. But if you find yourself time and time and time again going to them for the same help, asking them to help you with your last minute appointment and watch your kids, or just talk to you when you're having a bad day and they don't have the time for you, well, then let go of the guilt of not necessarily dropping everything that you have going on for them. I am not here to break up friendships. I am not here to tell you who needs to be in that circle. If you've listened this far, you probably have thought in your head, a face or two has popped up that you think, maybe they're not being for me who I am being for them. And maybe it takes a conversation. You don't have to just snip that friendship cord. You don't have to just exile that loved one. You are an adult and you can have the conversation. I am there for you and I need you to be there for me as well. Put the ball in their court. Are they willing to step up? If you are willing to be a better person, if you are willing to be there for them, are they willing to be there for you? That is the question, the $1 million question when it comes to examining our circle and examining ourselves. When we feel confident with what we bring to the table, we feel more confident in making sure that the others sitting at that table also bring their own strengths, also accept your weaknesses and their own, with reflection and the ability to grow, improve, and transform into people who are worthy of being at your personal table. Today, I hope this message brought you some clarity that you needed. It is personal. Self-reflection is key. Discipline, self-discipline is also vital to moments of growth, to paths of transformation. And the more you do that, the more you know you are showing up for the things you've committed to. You are becoming the person you want to become. The more confidence you will have making sure that those that surround you are also on the same path. They don't have to have the same goals, but they have to be willing to put in the same amount of effort. It's all about effort in the end. It's not about perfection. It's not about knowing it all. It's not about having the perfect plan. It's about putting in the effort to make sure that you're setting yourself up for success and surrounding yourself with others who do the same. So thank you, my friends, for taking this time with me today. I love spending a little blurb of our time each week. I hope that as you listen to me, I hope this message resonates in some way. It either gives you the clarity of those around you who are putting in the effort. It gives you the confidence that you are showing up for the things you want to do, for the goals you set, and putting in that daily work to hit that long-term vision. Or it might give you some clarity and it'll help you release that guilt of the energy suckers, the energy vampires. I learned that phrase the other day and I love it. The energy vampires who are only there for what they need and not willing to reciprocate that friendship, that love, that effort into your circle back. And let's end it remembering that in the end, we ourselves, our own individual brain, heart, soul, is the only person we can absolutely hold 100% accountable. And as long as we're taking these small steps every single day, developing the habits to help set us up for success, we know how worthy we are. We know how valuable our time is. And we can start small steps. We can start to hold others accountable for treating us the same. After every episode, I want to remind you that I would love if you would subscribe to this podcast. We're on YouTube. Find me on Instagram. I want to be your friend. I would also be honored to be your coach. If you listen to me every single week and it just seems to be landing, you are ready to take your transformation, your evolution to the next level, I'd love to have at least a 30-minute conversation with you for free, no strings attached, to see if I could be the coach to help you get there. In the show notes, there is a link and you can go in and schedule a free 30-minute consultation call with me. And together, we can see if we're a good fit for each other. If you're not ready for that call, then I hope you still tune in. You listen to these tidbits of advice and experience that I share with you, because in the end, all I want to be is somebody in your ear, in your heart, in your life, pushing you to make these changes towards growth. And I am so thankful for your time, your friendship, and your love, because I need it just as much as you do. I hope you have a good rest of your week. I can't wait to talk to you again soon. Tune in, subscribe, leave a review if you're really feeling loved. And next week, we will be back together, conquering the past, letting go of our baggage, moving forward, and taking control of our life so we, together, can start to live the life we deserve and love. Have a great day. Thank you.